So Casey ONeill made her post-fight post, and she didn't have much to say. All she said was, "Guess who's back?" Is she back? Was she ever here? Or back where? Back where? She mean in the spotlight, in the limelight, in the discussion for a title shot. At one point, she saw herself as a top fighter in the UFC. And she made a comment that everybody remembers. She said something like, let the new girls beat up the old girls. The older female fighters. Let the new fighters come in and beat up on them, take their spot. And I was impressed, with the boldness, with the courage, because you always set yourself up to look stupid when you make comments like that. It can backfire. Look, if you don't say anything, let's say you're mute, then you never have any words to eat. People will never rub your losses in your face. But every time a fighter talks the way she decided to talk, and I'm not saying that she shouldn't talk like that. I prefer that some fighters do talk like that. I like when fighters talk. I prefer when they talk like that. I gravitate to fighters when they talk like that. And I can't lie. I tune in more. I make sure I put forth more of an effort to see their fights when they trying to talk their way, talking like a big shot. She was trying to talk like a big shot when she was undefeated. That's another thing. If you talking like that as a fighter who take L's, I'm not going to pay no attention to you. But if you're undefeated, you got my full attention. And she took a few L's. But is she back? Was she ever here? I don't think she was ever anywhere. She's never been in the top 10 as far as I can remember. I think at one point, she was ranked higher than she is currently. I do remember that. But does she have a new style? Is this a new style? Her ground game, it looked like she didn't even want to use it. So what's the issue with that? Is she now a striker? If so, she got outstruck by Jennifer Maia, who got outstruck by Katlyn Chookagian, or whatever her last name is. Jennifer Maia has been outstruck, if I'm not mistaken, more than once. Right? Is Jennifer Maia the best striker? I have my criticisms about her, but I thought she handled Casey ONeill easily. Has Casey ONeill improved? Do you think Casey ONeill would beat Jennifer Maia right now? She has fights like that she needs to kind of overcome. Casey ONeill. Her victory over Roxanne, it's a good victory. But I don't think she was, at least not in my book. Now, I think there was some people out there who saw her as a top tier fighter, one of the new prospects who would eventually be the face of the division, right? Title contender, top 3, top 5 type fighter. I always had my doubts, me personally. But she says that she's back. Is she? And what does she have to deal with? How would she measure up against her competition? Realistically. Is she still on a Jesuda Vicious level? I would say so. At least for now. Casey ONeill, Santos is not that good. And a lot of people thought she looked bad last night, Luana Santos. And she did. If you look at her, she looked terrified all night. She fought like a fighter who was outgunned, outmatched. And like you could see it on her face almost. But this is the hottest division right now. How does Casey really measure up in this division? Right? Her fight last night, I thought, was very strange. I thought it was strange. Because she couldn't even mark this girl up. Though she was landing shots repeatedly. That's troubling to me. Like, what are you going to do against a fighter with better offense than Santos? You're not going to be able to really hurt him. And you yourself going to have to deal with a more formidable offense. Right? That's just what it is. And even with that, Santos was able to land a few shots here and there. And Santos' boxing is poor. Her boxing is poor. So I don't have much confidence in Casey O'Neill's ability to have to be a threat to any of the top 5 fighters. In my opinion, at this point, no. So if she makes it into the top 5, this video, this stream is documented, and I'll have to eat my words. I have to come back and say, I was wrong. Casey O'Neill is at least, and listen, I'd be surprised if she cracked the top 10, be honest. But I'm going to go ahead and say top 5. I'd even go as far as top 6. That's just hard for me to see as of right now. With all the compliments that I've given her, I still say that she has a good fight IQ. If what she wants to do is box and strike, she does throw leg kicks, I would say she has a good IQ. But I'm saying she don't have the strength or the defense to overcome somebody else with a decent fight IQ, but with more power, better speed, right? Better boxing, like we saw with Jennifer Maia. Jennifer Maia didn't have that much power. She did. Maia's power is not all that. Is that the fight? No, that's not the fight. That's somebody else. That's Antonina. Now, I was on Reddit. If you do a search on Reddit, there are some people talking about these illegal strikes. I just have a question. Are we just going to ignore and allow these types of strikes? Is that how it's going? Because listen, I can guarantee you, fighters are in that position a lot. And if you just heel kick a man in the, the area, he like winces. He probably don't even have to. Is that something that I don't see that? Where your opponent is clearly aiming for your groin. I thought groin shots were illegal. Illegal. Listen, I've seen fighters heel kick their opponent in the buttocks. I thought that was unusual, but I'm like, it's effective. If you take strikes to the glutes, that can impair your movement. it can really damage you. You just not used to taking damage to your glutes. But it's kind of smart if that's the only thing you have access to. Those are legal strikes. It's just unusual for a fighter to aim for someone's butt and try to hit their butt. But we've seen it. We've seen fighters punch their opponent's thighs. Andrade has more than once beat on her opponents in very strange areas of their body. But it's effective. It's a muscle that they use during combat, and they're legal shots. If you want to punch somebody in the calf, knock yourself out. You want to punch him in the hamstring, knock yourself out. And that is a damaging shot. If somebody really seriously hurts the muscle in your quadriceps, in your hamstrings, or in your glutes, you're going to have problems standing, moving, walking. It's going to affect you in a fight if the muscle is seriously damaged and bruised. Right? Leg kicks. That's what they're all about. You can punch somebody in the leg just like you can kick them in the leg. You can kick somebody in the butt. Now think about it. We've seen a lot of fighters get kicked in the butt because, they'll turn when a kick is coming. Maybe it was a body kick, and they turn, they take the kick to the butt. Fine. Nobody objects to that. We recently saw a female fighter quit because she took a shot to the breast. She felt entitled to a timeout just for taking a strike to the breast. Think about that. She basically quit. So are we supposed to say, okay, if a shot lands on the breast, they can get a timeout? How many more girls are going to say, wait a minute, I just took a shot to the breast, I need 10 seconds? When is the next time we're going to see a woman take a strike to the groin and say, I need 10 seconds? They gave Molly McCann 10 seconds. They gave her more than 10 seconds. They gave her just as much time as you would give a man. And that's not the first time it happened. Yan Xiaonan asked for a timeout. She took a strike to the groin. There's been other times girls has taken strikes to the groins because if they show pain and a shot landed there, it's treated the same way a strike to a man would be treated. Okay? I'm looking at this as equality. I don't care what you have down there. I don't care what you have down there. If you got a burger, fine. She intentionally was landing strikes to her cheeseburger. And I'm not the only one that saw that. Now, I'm not going to read what these Redditors wrote, but I'm going to highlight what they wrote. Here's one, posted 18 hours ago. Casey ONeill, in my opinion, owes Santos an apology, and I want to send this out to the referees. Don't let fighters do that. Listen, if I'm making predictions, I don't want to see the fighter that I picked taking strikes to the groin, whether you allow it or not. If that area is anything like a man, it's going to zap their strength. That can be the difference whether you win or lose. At least that's how it is for the men. Okay? And it's weird how so many people have opted to ignore it. Have just pretended that they didn't see it. Everybody saw it. Everybody. And most people decided to, but not only did this person leave this comment, it got 20 upvotes. So at least 20 people saw it. But they just decided not to say anything. That's strange. To ignore reality, something that happens, to me, is strange. Here's another comment. Where were those last heel kicks landing? Put LOL and put a cat right there. What is this? Let's not introduce this into the WMMA lexicon, please. As a longtime commentator on women's mixed martial arts, that's the request from this channel. Let's not make this a thing, please, ladies. Have enough respect for your opponent not to land repeated. And these were repeated strikes. One strike, I feel, warrants a, whoa, stop. What are you doing? One. This girl was landing repeated. Casey, you owe this girl an apology, and you need to tell the referees in UFC that you will make sure not to intentionally kick your opponent in the groin repeatedly. Now, look, I know Casey ONeill, I believe Casey ONeill is a member of a cult. I believe she's in a cult. I personally believe she is a cult member. I don't know. I can't say for sure. That's just my personal suspicion that she's in a cult. One, because of the little eye thing she did, and her name, King Casey ONeill. That's that gender bending Baphomet stuff. So that's my suspicion, but I don't know for sure. So, she might have some pull and some connections. People I thought valued, people at UFC I thought valued Casey ONeill, but a little more because of it. So you got a little clout. Let's reassure your opponents, because what if it hurts? What if you damage? Yan Xiaonan said she had blood in that area. Now, so is it serious or not? To take a strike in that area, is it legal? That's really the question, which I thought it was legal. I didn't know until Molly McCann got a timeout and her opponent got a warning. I'm like, oh, okay. So it's treated the same way a groin strike would to a man. I'm like, okay, true equality. Here we go. 2024, right? And then enter Casey ONeill. Now, fighters, like I said, are in these positions all the time. You don't want to make this a thing. Listen, I don't want to make this a thing. If you got a fighter that I picked, I don't want to see them taking repeated strikes to the groin. And if it does happen, I don't want to see the referee sitting there looking at him. Strange. That is so strange. So no more cheeseburger strikes, huh? You discussed Duplessis. Yeah. I talked about Duplessis' victory over Adesanya, I think twice. Valiant, man. Cali is because he threw a dirty side kick. Yeah, I've seen a lot of weird strikes in MMA. I've seen fighters take strikes to the neck, and I think a strike to the Adam's apple. I don't know is that legal? You really don't see that happening that often. But I would imagine it would hurt. You take a karate chop or something to the Adam to the neck, you'd be in bad shape. If it's a hard, clean, flush strike. But this girl getting heel kicks. We all seen heel kicks. Heel kicks hurt. You get good leverage on them. But she was aiming for this girl's groin, and the referee looking like he wanted popcorn. All right. Yeah, that's what we doing? Yeah. Yeah, Casey, I didn't think she looked improved. I just thought she looked, because I always gave her credit for her IQ. I always gave her credit for her IQ. I gave her more credit than most people. So that didn't surprise me. And I never thought highly of Santos striking. It was a good matchup for Casey ONeill. Let's take it a step further to really bring this home and let y'all know, give y'all a better idea of what I'm talking about here. We're in the twilight zone here in 2024. I don't know what's going on. But respect to one of the, or I consider the leader of the WMMA world here on YouTube, Combo Breaker 99. I listened to his coverage of the fight as the fight was popping off, as I usually do. And I want y'all to listen. I want y'all to listen to what he said at that very moment. This is hilarious. Listen to this.
I think she's got it. Tight.
Oh, he's talking about the choke.
Frankie, choke. Santos is lost here tonight. Uh-oh. Choke. I think she's got it. Tight. Crank it. Donna Santos, look at her kicking. Oh, that's Casey kicking. $30-27.
He saw the kicks. Everybody in it, nobody in the chat room pointed out either. But they didn't point out, like, it's like a lot of people saw it and just didn't think none of it. They didn't think, they saw the kicks like, oh, I see kicks landing. Okay, but where are they landing? Is it okay for them to land there? Should she be targeting that area? Casey ONeill, I'm going to ask you a direct question. What part of her body were you targeting at that moment? Did you know? Were you aware of what area of her body you were landing in? If you say yes, and if you say no, I'm going to scratch my head. You see? And listen, you can fast forward. Nobody in the chat room pointed it out. Oh, girl. And Santos stood up like, no big deal. She didn't think none of it. She was probably more worried about the face crank and whether or not she's about to get choked out. The face crank probably hurt. Probably didn't pay no strikes, no attention. But good Lord, Casey. Good Lord. Don't do that again. You talk about the Twilight Zone. I'm not trying to cover this subject again, and I don't want to see that again. So don't do it. None of you other girls do that. Please, let's not do that. It looked like the referees are okay with it. So if y'all doing it, the referee just going to look, obviously. Especially if you're on the ground, you got their back like you saw there. You want to land some strikes, put them out of commission. So the only people that's going to stop it is y'all. You just got to have enough respect for your opponent not to target their groin. What in the world are we doing here? I expect any time now for them to announce Tatiana Suarez against Zhang. Zhang is going too long without a fight. Tatiana, I don't know what's going on with her, injury or whatever, but when was the last time Weili has been this inactive. Y'all remember not long ago, she said she wanted to fight like three times a year, something crazy like that. You know? And I don't want Suarez to fight hurt, but man, this is kind of crazy. Chest protector? I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they can. They should. I think they need more protection. See, the thing is, people don't want to see women in a protected state. MMA, Dana White, MMA, they try to bring this ancient Greece type of fighting in the modern world as close to it as possible, and they don't want to see women with armor on. But y'all, they need, just like men wear cups, right? Wear the female version of a cup. If they get a timeout and take a strike there, give them a cup. But don't nobody want. They don't want to see a woman with a cup on. Why not? Is this a sport or what? I've always thought that they should have like shin guards, like they have in sparring. Seen those guards they have in sparring, to protect some parts of their bodies. A lot of them get their shins banged up, all parts of their bodies banged up being offensive. MMA is just dangerous. It's a very dangerous sport. Terrence Crawford pointed that out. Only thing you really damage in boxing is your upper torso, your ribs. You get broken ribs, and your fist, your own fist, and your face. With MMA, it's all of that and a whole bunch more. Primarily from your waist down is targeted for damage. That's a lot different, man. And we've all seen fighters can break their shin throwing leg kicks. Trying to do that. Not trying to do that. Now, I hope people look deeper into the little dust up between Macy Barber and Rose, because that was some iconic stuff. Because that was kind of creepy. It was creepy what Macy Barber did. And I saw she reposted most iconic post-fight celebration. No, it was cringe when the girl did at the Olympics. So any recreation is cringe. I hope she don't make that a thing. Yeah. So that's probably the highlight of her. We'll see if she can get a stoppage. Maybe that's possible. Yeah, she gonna need some more power. Some more snap, if you ask me. Look at her fights a little closer. If you're not convinced about my alleged IQ, I gave her credit for having a decent IQ, above average IQ. Just you. Lack power, lacks a little speed and snap. And she got some raggedy punches. Don't get full extension. Other than that, pretty good IQ. Yeah, she get hurt. She's hurt a lot. But there's nobody else for O'Neil to fight. The next fight has to be Suarez. But is she going to be ready? That's what I'm saying. She's been out for a while because of injury. Okay, what's she going to look like when she come back? So, and who's she going to fight after Suarez? Who's she going to fight after that? I don't know. But, yeah, that's the thing. What did I just do with that? Verna. Yeah, Verna's the only next possible opponent. And I thought Vernon was about to fight somebody. Lemos, right? Yeah. Did they fight already? No, they didn't fight yet. She got to be Lemos, right? Am I tripping? Have they fought already? Now I got to find out. That's a shame. Yeah, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? She got stopped. Okay, so Verna's there. I'll take either of those fights. So Verna is a live player. She's a live dog at 125. Whaley's, yeah, she could stay busy. Suarez or Verna. Would you fight Verna first, then Suarez? Either way, oh man, Whaley is in for some hard fights. Those are not easy fights. Both strong ground fighters. But oh yeah. Verna shouldn't have to fight nobody else. Who they going? Yeah, she shouldn't have to fight nobody else. Let her sit out. When was that fight? Saturday, July 20th, just last month, about a month ago. Yeah, she can sit out. So hopefully they make announcements soon. I don't like the way they are going about things right now. Let's hope they get that together. Valentina is getting her trilogy. A lot of people is behind Valentina. But I'm trying to tell y'all, she's ran into her kryptonite. Her kryptonite is a chick that's with good hands, that's willing to tee off. That's what it is. And sometimes with fighters like that, the only way to tame them is to tee off on them even more. Outflurry them. And I don't think Valentina's that type of fighter. She'll throw a 1-2. Maybe a 1-2-3. But Alexa Grasso tweaks out. She acts like, she's trying to kill you. Shevchenko is about structure and discipline. Whereas Grasso is willing to throw discipline out the window and just beat on you. That's a different type of fighter. But Grasso got technique and skill. That's the thing. But she got that little extra street type of brawl in her that I don't think Valentina got an answer for. I was thinking about that earlier today. Because I was, trying to get it right. I was thinking about going with Valentina, but nah. I think they're going to do better in the rematch or the trilogy, and I'm talking about Grasso. But I could be wrong. Like I said, Valentina's an alien, sort of. But all fighters got their weakness. Yeah, and Grasso is, I think, reaching her prime. And maybe Valentina is starting to atrophy, starting to maybe lose a little muscle tissue, a little muscle strength. Look how long she's been fighting. It's possible, it's taking a toll on her. And, whereas Grasso don't have as much wear and tear on her tires. Yeah. So, definitely. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Big shout out to all of you. See y'all on the next live stream.